Hey guys, we're back with Blue. We're all quite tired by now, so excuse any dumb comments. The cut of the day just got spoiled, so we just got finished talking about them. But we have, I don't know, they're more important things to talk about, but we have things to talk about.
Yes.
And those things are
Ooh.
Charlotte. So
Woo!
the first
Charlotte.
card in blue is a really good one. It is a
This card's
three
fucking
two
broken.
pizza sauce in apron. So she is gets one -1 level when you have two of your climax cards, so after you refresh. If you got two or more other gifted characters, it gains 1k, and it's a heal. Indisputably the best level 3 in the set for the reason that is actually a level 2.
I really wish I played a set with this early play condition, because I think
Mm,
this early play condition is very sweet.
I think it's the second freest early play condition.
I don't think it's good because it's free. I think it's good because you get to maintain compression after refresh
That's
and still
exactly
play.
why I want it.
It's why
Yeah.
Onodera is such a piece of crap.
Well, Ono Dare is not like a good comparison because she just gets to like YOLO no scope at all times.
Oh yeah, but the point is she can do it post refresh. She doesn't have to have like five or less cards in the bin.
Or two or copies of himself in the bin.
Oh
Yeah.
god, I hate that one.
That one's not terrible though. Like I
Or
honestly
two
think
more
it's an
copies of
acceptable effect.
Climax. Dude,
Isn't that yeah, the
dude
one
that
with
I've
six
been
or three or more copies of the climax sucks. Rip
yeah, that
fairy
one
tale.
sucks too. I've been screwed by the two or more copies engraved with Phantom like a lot.
I don't know. Like
Though
the only
Phantom
set
also
I
gets like climaxes in opponent's grave, which is a hilarious one.
the only setup I ever play with that like has that effect is the Joseph from Terraformers. So like
Joseph's pretty good though.
there are some things that make Joseph very acceptable right now. Namely that he has the hexproof effect and he's still 10k and he still early plays and he still heals. Like he's an all-around good dude.
Wow, that's so depressing.
Oh, I just realized he's not actually modification. Well, he is traded modification in the set, but like in the manga, he is established to so far be no MO operation. He's just like as manly as a human being can be.
Maybe he's just taking steroids or something.
We don't know. I
Anyway,
mean,
Ayumi,
he's
it's
literally
sus.
launched bullets out of his leg using sheer force of muscle.
Guys, please, can we get through blue?
Anyways, this card I
I
think is
want to do something else.
this card is incredibly fair to me.
Oh, I hear you, man. This card is just really good. It's a two soul 10/5, and it beats face and it's pizza sauce, which some
And it
people have a weird
heals.
thing for.
It's a very good card. I don't think it's broken, which means it falls under the fair category, but it's still good.
I like the heal.
This
It lets you stay at level 2 for longer than you should.
It's very comparable to me. For instance, it's not as comparable because the index one like requires you to like do stuff, but the index
well,
healer is very similar in my opinion.
I
Hmm.
don't. Uh, okay, so the index healer. The problem is I have with that card
Is
is
because you
index has
have
a
a
free
free
refresh.
refresh. No one ever wants to play the 3 to advance summon because why would you do that and not just actually heal and draw a card as well?
Yep,
Vento's so good, and if you do both, you feel shitty because you just like decompressed yourself
by
by
I'm
free
still
one.
mad that
cards.
I'm still mad that they gave
How by
Vento out of
one?
Oh, by
everybody.
three, yes.
Like,
Two
why wouldn't
stock
you
and a
give it to
heal.
why wouldn't you give it to Itsuwa, you bastards? She's clearly best girl.
Anyways, so I think we're all in agreement that this Ayumi is good.
Hey, don't write me off. Itsuwa's best girl when I'm salty.
I'm definitely not googling who that is.
She's the level support. Something
Oh yeah,
precious
okay,
now
that's what
Tomori.
I figured.
This is the anti-front that received a ton of hype. This is one of the cards that I gave the meta rating to, although I'm considering just giving that to the pizza sauce, actually.
No, I think this still gets meta rating over Pizza Sauce.
I
Yeah,
rather play Yumi
this
over
is
this
a
card.
Yeah.
I agree. Like Ayumi's a 3 to 4 of, whereas this is not necessarily warranted. But this is really good. Like I still give this the meta rating regardless,
Yeah,
and it's a good card.
I
So
I,
yeah.
it's a
I
three
think
two
Pants is
unboosted
really good.
10k. When this attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a gifted character, add it to hand. Otherwise, it goes back where it was. And you can discard a pants from your hand to waiting room. So the pants is the That's the scene where she kicks the weed out of his hands, right?
Um.
Y-
Oh, maybe. I never thought
Yes,
about that.
I think
I think it
so.
is.
It's totally not weed. It's totally cocaine, though.
Is it
Let's be
crack?
real,
Yeah,
guys.
it's cocaine.
I don't actually remember it. I just remember he was rolling something up and he was really looking forward to it.
Well, he was rolling
Uh,
up like something to put like the nose clams in his nose.
I'll take your word for it because I don't want to go back and watch it. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, discard a pants, and if this is in the front row, you may pay the cost. So the cost is discarding the pants. If so, search your library for a gifted character and add it to your hand. Afterwards, shuffle your library and choose the character opposite this. That's important. And that character gains the ability or inability to front attack.
Yep.
So the important things to take away from this are that against most sets, this is great. It stops your opponent from front attacking. They still get stock, but you've effectively anti-damaged them, and you've stopped your now from dying, which means she gets the cantrip again next turn. And the other thing to take away from this is that it sucks against Talavru, it sucks against Little Busters, and it's probably going to suck against Synthogear and Index.
I think it's gonna suck against Index because I love siding
Yeah.
for 2+ with Toma.
it
hmm
sucks
I
against
side with
Index.
Toma
Wait, you
anyways.
can't
Like,
even choose him though.
Yeah, you can't choose them.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
Yeah.
Get wrecked.
that's why it sucks because you can't choose
Yeah.
Toma.
Man, and
So
here I was like getting excited about siding.
but
I
you
mean, I'll still probably
You can
side
still
anyway
side.
yeah,
with my
so
+2 souls.
this has a oh, it's also bad against Nanoha because it has a hexproof support as well.
Oh shit.
So this has
Nanoha.
immunity to every restander and clock kick except for the Little Busters one.
And
no, Attack on
the
Titan.
Attack on Titan one, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
Armin, that's right. Armin has hexproof. Yeah, so wait, no, Attack on Titan, the restander Levy, that's right.
Yeah, Levy
Yep,
gets
so
hexproof.
Armin gives hexproof.
yes.
Yeah.
So we've listed a bunch of decks that ignore this ability, but everything else is weak to it, and that's why this card is good.
Yep.
It's also got the Kirito effect of just kind of giving you cards for free, which is pretty decent.
It also just, also compresses
Every
your deck
turn.
slightly because you are still searching. The,
Yeah,
the
and
problem,
you're dropping a climax too.
Problem is to hold the climax.
yeah, the problem is you're holding a climax, and that does mean that like if you do full field this and you want to use it more than once, that meant you had 3 climaxes in your hand,
hmm
which could bode poorly if your opponents happen to be a set that have hexproof anything. I mean, like, even against Terraformers, if they happen to be running Josephs and you just weren't prepared for Josephs, you could be really sad very quickly.
But at
Pretty
some
much.
point, you should have seen that like the Josephs were somewhere, and like you shouldn't have been just holding climaxes in your hand like a jackass.
I mean, like, this is true, but like in this, it's not quite as impressive as like when your Fate Iliad deck suddenly decides I'm gonna ditch these 3 climaxes and all of my characters on attack burn 3 times.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like the Joseph thing, like that one specific scenario is kind of awkward because I feel like that would only work if you play one Joseph.
You can play a lot of Josephs.
No, like you play one Joseph in your entire deck.
Oh, sure.
Because like, how are they not
Or
going
the
to see that
opponent
there's a
doesn't know.
Joseph?
I mean,
Well,
some
sure,
people
but
just
then that's
don't
their
look at
fault.
cards and ask what they do.
I mean,
So
like,
basically, this card
sure.
gets a lot worse if your opponent has a way to play around it and knows to play around it. And so, Symphogear, Monogatari, Nanoha, Little Busters,
To
Tulavru, Terraformers,
Girlfriend Beta.
I don't like
Index,
this.
Girlfriend Beta. Girlfriend Beta? What hexproof does Girlfriend Beta have?
Sliding thing.
Oh, that's right. Girlfriend Beta has the
Yep.
the changer which lets you side without penalty, as well as
Oh wait, I
what,
forgot.
what-
Terraformers can also do that anyways. They have the 2/1.
Yeah, but why would you do that when you just chuck a Joseph in the front anyway?
Well, because you can now use
Yeah.
Musashi, I guess.
Now you
Good
have a
point.
side attacking Joseph that can't be targeted.
What about the Disgaea card too?
Let's see. What, the 5 soul Disgaea card?
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
Or
Little
you could
Busters
play
has
the
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 2/1,
Little
right?
Busters 2/1. Yeah, that's not the play, by the way. So
Anyways.
this card is decent, but it is easy enough to play around if you're playing a specific set, and it just so happens a lot of high and top tier sets have ways to play around it.
Oh, isn't it so super awkward if like let's say they have now and something that isn't the 3/2 now, You attack in the other lanes first, you hit a wind trigger, and then you bounce the anti-front now? Or is this at the beginning of
Uh,
combat?
It's at the
It's the
beginning of
beginning of
attack
attack
no,
phase.
no, no.
phase.
Yeah, yeah, but see, if
Oh,
it's
but then you
bounced,
get
it's
to
direct
direct
attack.
attack.
Exactly. Direct
Yeah.
attack is
Oh,
not
yeah,
front attack.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
there
that's
are a
true.
lot of weaknesses to this card, but it is still fairly decent. And I can't give it anything but a good rating because even though we're talking crap about it, saying all of these decks can beat it, in reality, it beats a lot of decks really badly if they don't have the cards.
We just talk about these sets because we are trying to kill the hype.
Mm.
I'd
Uh,
say playable just because I don't want to say good because I think there's already a bunch of level threes I want to be running anyway, and
Mm.
I just don't know room. Like this would be the first thing I'd be cutting.
That's fair. I honestly think that the Yusa Misa combination is better. And this actually gives you room to play gates if you want to play them instead of pants. All right, we spent plenty of time on the double R's. They're both good, and this latter was, well, I think both are actually meta. So yeah, we take that to where it is. But speaking of meta cards, we've got Yu Otosaka challenging
Yeah.
Recollection. If it's in memory, neither player can take damage from their opponent's auto abilities. And one cost, drop a card from hand. When this becomes reversed, you
Oh,
may pay
that's
cost.
funny.
If you do, search your deck for a gifted character, add it to hand, and if you are level 2 or lower, it goes to memory.
So
It's the level 2 or lower thing is so you can't Musashi send this in to stop opposing Musashis.
yes.
yeah,
You can, however,
This
burn
card,
5 and send this in.
yes, because you can change. This card is a huge hoser, and everyone was hype about it, but I think the hype was mostly just hype. This card is great because you don't necessarily have to use it in matchups where it benefits you to not use it.
I have this card personally set at playable meta.
I agree. I think it's a fixture in most decks because you'd much rather fight Talavru or Nisekoi when they don't have access to their burns.
hmm
Because you just have a better Outlast game than either of those decks with your level 3 User or level 3 Now, depending. Whereas some sets, I'm not sure that you should bother because, like, say, what's this going to do against Madoka? It's going to turn off their Kyokos. Oh no.
Oh no.
So yeah, this card it's also in a bit of an awkward spot because it is your searcher and it is also a filter outlet, and you do want those effects. But
And
if
the
you don't
problem
want
is
the
you cannot
anti-burn,
not send it to memory if you choose to
exactly,
search.
exactly.
yeah.
It's mandatory. It's not you may send this to memory. It's you have to if you choose to search before level 3.
So this is I'm really digging this card now because of like specifically it says like the A abilities of their respective opponents' characters.
It does mean
Yeah.
that
So
shot
that
triggers still burn 1.
that's not what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
but
I'm
he's
going deeper.
Oh, you're going.
Like
Chidori. Is it
Oh,
Chidori
I
time?
I was gonna say Aquarius, but yeah, Chidori, like same idea. Like the
Yeah,
symmetrical burn effects like just become actually the worst cards in your deck.
because they burn just you. Keep in mind that burn events, such as the Daybreak Illusion, Brainstorm, and all the 1 trillion 3/3 burn fives, as well as startup burn events like the ones in Railgun and Little Busters, will still have effects. So this is not fair. This is not a fail-safe against burn, but it stops the majority of the bullshit burn.
It stops the majority of like the most relevant burn effects. So
Stops
Correct.
Trouble Girl.
And
No, poor
because
Harley.
yeah, because of that, it is worth the meta rating just on that. Shall we move on?
I'd rather
As-
be playing Shauna.
Astronomical observation. Now Tomori. Your other character in the front row center slot gets 500 always. And Brainstorm, one cost to tap just this, which is actually relevant. Check the top 4 cards. For every climax, one of your characters gains an instance of the ability. When the battle opponent is reversed, search your deck for up to 2 characters, 2 gifted characters, add them to hand, and discard a card. So this can lead to some really stupid deck thinning. Like, if you hit 3 climaxes, then that's actually good because now you thin your deck of a further 6 non-climaxes, which means that
Yeah.
catastrophic brainstorms are just a lot less common if you manage to reverse your opponent. It really sucks when you don't manage to reverse your opponent.
for me, I'm putting this at the playable rating because if you do fail to reverse your opponent, Holy Jesus, you are sad.
Oh no, no, no. This
Wait.
is definitely a good card. This is
Wait,
most
but that doesn't make
definitely
it
a good
playable.
This
card.
card is good.
You just run this card like, period.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I
just
guess.
don't because your deck isn't going to be unable to reverse anything all the time. You're usually going to find something to reverse.
No, hopefully you find something to reverse. The only thing that makes this awkward for me versus like the traditional search brainstormer is that if you do find yourself in the position where you don't have enough attackers, this does not let you flood out.
That's
This is
rather
really-
uncommon though, because you
No,
have
this
Ricky.
is really terrible in one situation. That's paying out stock early, and your opponent has either a runner or they just bombed you.
Oh yeah.
That's like that's god awful. There's nothing more to say about it.
But again, you have Ricky, so you have a lot of selection
Yeah,
for
of
what
course.
you can get as a stock out. So
But this is just a lot more prerequisite and a lot less. Like the increased prerequisites are not worth the increase in ceiling, in my opinion.
I agree. It's a very high risk ish, high reward ish card. You get higher risk, higher reward.
But it's not that much higher reward as compared to how much higher the risk is.
Yeah.
Because the chance of hitting climaxes and failing to get your plus means you just spent one stock to basically blank to do nothing and remove climaxes from your deck, which I guess you would have triggered anyway, but that's that's whatever. This has all the benefits of the brainstorm effect, but sometimes you whiff on the additional bonuses that this would have gotten if it was just a search brainstorm.
Yep. Or a salvage brainstorm or whatever.
It's still good because you get two characters and you get to hand fix, which is really good for plussing brainstorm, because that's the big draw of spammable brainstorms. You can hand fix a lot of the time. This does both, which I guess is just really strong.
The thing is also nice.
It is.
I don't know. It's just like
also serves back row purpose, however
Yes.
small it might be.
It does. I
It's
don't
just-
like this effect, but it is still an effect.
in general, I always just think I'd rather have something a little bit more reliable.
I agree.
Yeah, but you
it's
don't have a
still
choice.
It's still.
No, it's not a
good
like
card.
having
It's
a
a good
choice or
card,
not
without
doesn't
a
like
doubt.
change whether or not I want something more reliable. I mean, like just because I have a climax salvaging brainstorming a god shooter doesn't mean I don't want something that can search.
Do you know how many angels Evangelion would face to have this brainstorm?
Oh. Okay, I
That's-
regret. I regret bringing up that set.
Bad jokes aside, summer uniform Yu Otosaka. If you have 6 or more cards in hand, this gains 1/5. I hate this sort of card because it doesn't let you play other cards onto the field.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it's so good with Ricky.
I mean, functionally speaking, it's gonna be very similar to the I think it's the green one that said if you have one or less other characters, it's a 4K.
Except that one is way better.
Except that one's way better because then it can actually get a support to make it like 4/5 or something.
Yeah.
Correct. I just don't like this card very much because compared to the next one we're about to come to, it has so much less utility and so much less end game potential. Plus, the next one is Encore.
Anyways, I'm just gonna give it a bad because it's definitely not the go-to
I
0-0
I didn't give it a bad. I gave it a playable because it is playable. It's a low risk, low reward card. High floor, low
playable.
ceiling. It is
It's
playable.
just like, I don't know. I've played the Fate Zero version of it, and I didn't hate it.
I hate the Persona Q version of it. There's just no room, and it just doesn't do enough.
Well, I'd say Persona has more stuff to be doing than most Fate decks, I feel. Or at least
Maybe I'm just
at-
biased.
At least pre-UBW, because that's when I played that card.
All right, let's move on. Pajamas Pizza Sauce. When this is placed from hand to stage, mill 2. If there's a climax card among them, rest this. And Encore. Discard a character encore.
This
It is the
card's
girlfriend beta.
freaking
It is the
good.
girlfriend beta card.
It
And
is
that
like-
girlfriend beta card is ridiculous.
This is
Oh,
definitely
Love
Love
it.
Life
Good
has this
card.
as well, and it's really good.
this is definitely the go-to 0-0 beater.
It is oversized. It does have a significant downside, but it's also a significant upside when you play it later in the game and you just get to mill cards.
I mean, everyone in this chat has experience using a very similar effect in Index where you get to just mill cards.
Well, I play Mill 2 beaters in
A lot of
a few
sets.
decks.
Well, I play this exact card in
And,
Girlfriend
like-
Beta, so it's a good card.
No one here is a
I've seen
scumbag
it in
that plays
beta.
Unsubsy,
I've seen it
right?
in Love Live.
No.
I've played an effect like this in Index. I played in Milky Holmes. Like, the Mill 2 is just very good.
Yeah, like it gets you through your deck faster, gets you to
Oh,
refresh faster.
Idolmaster is another deck with this sort of profile, but it goes to stock
Richter,
instead of resting. It's like,
which is even better.
yeah, it's just all very good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a very good effect, and yes, it does have a slightly lower floor than what we just talked about, but it has a much higher ceiling, even though it's 500 power lower.
I am still gonna just give it the playable
It's
rating
playable. It's
personally,
only playable.
but it's
It's
the
not a
best
great
of
card.
this archetype in this set for me.
No,
Exactly.
this is a great card.
Yeah.
This is why you play Charlotte. God damn it.
This card specifically.
Yeah.
Is this your meta rating, Teru?
You can put him down for meta. He clearly likes this card.
Okay, here you go. Meta.
Sure.
All right.
It's like
Ne-
free. It's like half a brainstorm. It's like when I play 4 of the 00 Yosuke Mill one.
Yeah, man. It's like a reverse half Hanyo brainstorm that hits your own characters.
Ugh. Jesus Christ.
When I say it like that, you're not quite as in love with the card. Okay. Let's move on.
I was horrified by what you just said. Also, I don't really think I've marked much as meta, so yeah, let's go for it.
It's already been marked.
Shit.
Challenge now Tomori 1045 for each other gift
Challenge
character.
now.
I don't know what happened to us tomorrow.
Challenge now.
Now.
So,
What?
yeah, you get
What?
500
Is this
for
Guys.
translation
gifted.
real?
Guys, we don't know what happened to us tomorrow.
What the? What?
Where does it even say this?
Flavor
It's
text.
the flavor text translation. God.
Oh. Okay, anyways, this is a very
let's
playable card.
Put all the flavor text aside, but yeah, it's super
Oh, this
playable.
card's good.
One of the reasons to be blue. It's not gotten any worse since Love Live was around. In fact, it's gotten better.
Yes. Unless you're in Two
Because
Love
the-
where this is arguably the worst card in your deck.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
The requirements for power has gone lower because people started favoring costless level ones. So this card is always going to be good as long as it's around.
I've played these cards so many times.
I still think it's only playable, but given how many things I've given the good rating to that I thought were playable, I think I have to give this the good rating.
I would give it the good rating. Like,
It's a
It
good
is
card.
what you just sit on it forever and ever.
Looks like it's like bombed.
well, sure that you play more.
It dies to bombs is whatever. Like lots of things die.
Dies to Doomblade.
Look, at least approximately 1/5 of all cards in the game don't die to Doomblade.
Dies to go for the throat.
I don't know how
Dies
what-
to Rend Flesh.
Dies to Ren's soul, maybe?
Dies.
Lunch alone now Tomori 0015. All your other gifted characters gain 500 power and tap this to give a character 1 level for the turn. Any character, your
Oh,
opponent's or
We've
yours.
talked about this like 600 times. By
Yeah,
now.
this
this is the card we've alluded to.
This
It's
is a
really
huge
card.
enabler in the set.
Only if you're playing the 2/2 or the 1/0. Otherwise, it's just a global support.
Otherwise, it's a global support, in which case you might as well pick the one with change in the text, just because it has change in the text. Was there another global support I'm forgetting about?
No.
No, what you
This
said
is-
is absolutely correct.
Yes. This is the
Um,
only worthwhile
His-
support.
Yeah,
Dies-
like it's
okay.
the best support.
Okay, that has got to be the worst one that I've seen in a long time.
Do you want me to link you? Okay, the Innistrad version of Swords to Plowshares.
No.
What is the Innistrad version of Swords?
Sensory deprivation.
Is it 1 mana?
Yes.
Oh God, sensory deprivation.
You're making me look this up. Like, mid-Charlotte cast.
Straight from the mouth of LSV.
Oh, dear God.
All right,
Okay.
let's move on. This card, I rank it as playable because it's not an amazing card you start in the deck, but it is very good.
It is playable for me as well.
It is very playable.
It is a
It
playable card.
makes every other card in your deck better. That's what I
It-
Oh,
like.
it also
play.
enables the 1065 yellow one if you want to run that.
If you play that, yeah, it also enables the 2/2 clock kick, etc. Imperfect ability, Sanic.
Sanic.
He has had to go to the hospital many times. So this is... Wait. What? This is the exact same as the U,
No, it's
except in
opposite.
blue.
This is all your other
No, no,
characters.
no.
Oh,
It's
so
the
he,
It's
Iori.
It's Iori.
so so it's OTP, right? This guy and
It's the
you, and
Yeah,
you
Fenrir.
exactly.
it's
So if you use them
5/5.
together, you have a
Yeah, it's the
5500
Fenrir.
and a 2500.
So it is just Fenrich. Fenrich is great,
Ways.
but I don't know if you need this when you have Brainstorm 3/5 global support all eating up level 0
No,
slots.
I
There's
think
just
this
so many.
is more
Like,
niche than necessary. I mean, functionally, this is taking a
Uh,
beater slot,
I think this is playable.
but
It's playable.
I wouldn't play it.
No,
it's
I
funny
wouldn't
art.
either, but it's still playable.
It's playable, sure.
All right. Summer uniform pizza sauce. When another gifted character attacks, it gains 1/5, so it goes up to 7/5, which is quite impressive to be quite honest.
I was very surprised by this card when it was played against me, just because like 7/5 was like a pretty respectable number.
It is really overspec, especially when you have other supports, and it will always force a counter against most sets, which I think is really valuable.
Yeah, either
If you go,
force a counter or a trade. Either one.
yeah,
Not
like if you're
against
going
teru
for
sets.
a very if you're going for a heavy blue level one, I think this gets an inclusion.
Yeah, if you're heavy blue, I don't think heavy blue level 1 is the way to go. I don't remember what blue level 1 combos there were besides the
None,
really amusing
Collapse.
one.
none,
Collapse.
none,
That said,
Collapse. No.
that
No.
said, this is still a
Fine.
playable
Memes.
card, and we'll just move
This is
on.
a no
Okay, okay,
memerino zone.
okay.
No memes.
Plans in Pride, Yu Otosaka.
Um,
1/1 1/1 2K mill 3 backup.
it's a
Um,
niche counter.
It's Ingris.
it is niche because it's
I
just
shall
worse.
conquer you.
I'm going to compare it to the Xenon from Sao. That's also a 1/1 2K Mill 3 backup, just because Sao has the split counter as well.
Yep.
But
It's
don't
like
worry,
you're probably
have
just going to play the
statistics.
costless
Just
2K
use
that's
Leafa.
sometimes a split counter.
Look, that card only ever sees play in waifu decks because A, you have Leafa counter, and B, you have the split counter.
You have statistics. Use
Sao
Leafa.
has really good backups. Jeez.
Yeah. They
Alrighty.
even have 1/1
Doesn't have a
Searching
sack
now,
counter,
Tomori.
though.
So it's a 2/1/5/5. All your other gifted characters gain 1K and pay 2 tap this to draw a card.
It's.
I have this
I
as
don't-
niche or bad.
I don't hate
It's-
this. This is like these are effects I like.
This
I
is an
just don't
effect I
know
would
that
like
I
if it was on like a frontal 5 or a global 5 at level 0 and it searched instead of drawn.
I think it's bad.
I think it has to be
Because-
bad because there's just better cards to
Like
play.
this is niche to bad for me. Like I can't.
It's niche to bad because there's a relevant level assist if
Why did
you're
this have to be the
doing
card that's
like
color?
YRB or something.
I played
'Cause
it.
I think the
this
use
is niche.
level assist
It's
is
niche.
more
Level 1
relevant
is
to this.
Yeah, use the level assist is good because it doubles as a level 3 killer.
And also, it
And then
boosts
that
your
summon.
early plays.
Yep.
Yes. So I don't think this is quite as good because your main level 2 play will be a level 3 anyway. So level assist is just better. I still think this is niche because the card effects are good. But whatever. So
Next
we should
up.
move on before the Skype call dies. The world is not in here. Yu Otosaka 2/1. 8K. If there are markers under this, it gains 1K and cannot direct attack. And 1 cost, drop a card from hand. When this is played from hand to stage, you may pay the cost. If you do, free fresh. So shuffle your waiting room into your library and put the top card of your library under this as a marker.
This card is niche for me. It's really good effect in general, but it's still
I don't know if
niche
you have
overall
room.
for me.
It's
I
like a
don't know if you
Vento,
have
but
room.
he draws the card and not you.
The sad part is that the marker is completely mandatory. You do not get to not marker him if you refresh.
This is not a Vento because it costs 2.
I know.
It's also it
being
costs stock,
facetious.
it minuses you on hand, and the trade-off is that now you get to do it whenever you want.
I mean, we're comparing it to
Wait,
the creme de la creme of
What do you mean
refreshes.
you do it whenever you want?
There's no condition to
Yeah,
to
you
refresh.
don't need to be 5 or lower. You can just refresh whenever.
That's what I thought you meant like any time.
No, it's
No,
not.
no. Only
I-
if you don't have the marker.
Yeah.
It's still a serviceable beater at 2/1, but I don't
Well,
know.
it's coming to play. That's all I thought you were saying
not-
it was like a
I
startup.
feel like I'd rather just mill myself out and then play a 3/2 Ayumi.
Yeah.
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 I think this is still niche playable.
It's niche for me.
It's niche.
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 Alright. Meal together. Pizza sauce. 1 cost bond to the 1/0 green clock encore, and tap this to give one of your edge lords 500 power.
That
Edge lords being
secondary
you,
effect
but
is
it's
I
so
not
want
bad.
I want to give it like a bad rating, but by very definition, it's a niche card.
Yeah,
It's
it's niche
niche.
because, yeah, by definition, it is.
It's like the Hisui bond.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it sort of gets you somewhere if you're running green. Sort of.
Kind of. The secondary effect is just so
Well,
bad.
you're not really running it for the
Most
secondary effect. You're just
cases.
running it for the bond.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, but it'd be so much better if it were just giving power.
It would be so much better if it was actually just apples.
hmm
Yeah.
Alright.
That's
Let's move
unfair.
on. It is unfair. Let's just move on. If it was apples,
Sky
that would be
High
ridiculous.
Saito.
So
Oh,
Key
cool, I
Visual
can-
Arts has this thing where they put a Saito character in most of their titles, and this is the Saito.
Can I just put bad for everyone on this?
But he's on trait. Oh,
He's
is
like
unfair.
the
So he's
first
not-
vanilla in a while. That's
He's
on
not
there.
the worst
he's
vanilla.
on trait.
He's not the
Look, if-
worst vanilla in this set.
If we were doing like numerical ratings, the other vanilla would have been a 0, and this would be a 0.5.
Yes.
It's still bad.
Yes.
His name makes
Yeah.
me think of Tiger and Bunny, and that's sweet.
Okay, next. It's memes.
That's rude. This card is a legitimate card.
It's Kek Degozaru pizza sauce. Nano Desu. Ayumi is my waifu of the season. Card.
So basically, it's climax combo with the book to put the top card of your opponent's stock to the waiting room and then replace it with whatever other card you want to put there from their waiting room. And then at the encore step, you send this to memory, you move your climax to the waiting room, and all players put the top 15 cards of their decks and they mill them.
Oh, sorry guys. I
Yeah.
fell into a very brief meme-induced coma.
Is this like one of those priming things? Like, if you have 3, are you gonna mill 15 or 45?
You're
That's
gonna
my
mill
question.
45.
45.
40, you
No,
mill 45 because
Fuck
the
you,
climax,
Dragon.
climax removal is not a cost. So
It's part of the
the
effect.
first
Yeah.
one will remove the climax, and then the second one will not.
However, this card
but
does
it
have
will
kind of
mill
diminishing
15.
returns because then you still only move one climax to their stock.
Look, you've just milled 15, and then you
Or
lose the
45.
character. So basically, this card
Dude,
is not good. There
You're
are many
winning the
reasons.
compression race. You force
you-
them to refresh with 1 less climax. You put 3 things in memory. Broken.
You punch them in the face with 3 2-soul beaters that are now gone, even if you've reversed your character. You have
You got to
gone
play a
neg
really
4.
cute climax.
You've gone
You've
neg
gone
4
neg
to make your
4 by
opponent refresh on
definition.
one less climax.
And it's
And-
a guaranteed burn.
Well, you've
Guaranteed
also guaranteed
damage.
burned yourself.
So,
God freaking
play
damn it.
Aquarius and Fairy Tale, man.
This is a bad card.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's so
I
meme-worthy.
would like to point out that unless you side attack with the last one, they can play a costed counter, and then they don't refresh with 1 less anyway.
So I was hoping I put like actual notes
Wait,
for this
what?
card in my Word doc. I didn't even put a rating.
wait,
I
that-
just said mill 45 boys. So I think that tells you what I think of the card.
I have it as bad, but if you guys want to be
No, it's
all
bad.
It's
memey, then
niche.
It's
No, it's
bad.
not good.
It's bad.
it is not.
I'm not
ish. It
even. I'm
doesn't-
not
it
even
doesn't
like
do
putting
anything.
Thomas's rating there. It's bad.
It's just bad because it doesn't do anything.
Next up
Interrogating
is-
now Tomori.
Is it vanilla?
Oh.
No, it's Taste of the Family. Yu Odosaka, isn't it?
But yeah, but
we
it's a
we
it's a
skipped the
vanilla.
which we're all
It's
going to say
bad.
is bad because we have a global support and the Ayumi, which fulfill separate good roles, and this does not.
Already.
Interrogating now Tomori 1155 gives all gifted characters in front of it 1/5. Ooh.
Oh wait, this is the one I was talking about.
And
This card
then when
sucks.
it is placed from hand to stage, you sack a character.
This card sucks.
This is fucking terrible, dude.
It's the one we were waiting for.
No.
It's a soul counter.
No one is waiting for this.
It's a vanilla
It's
power and it's a soul
it's the
trigger.
assist.
Yo,
It's
you know
the
how much
assist
you
that
know
we
how much
need, but
bigger
not the
this
one
now.
we deserve.
You know how much bigger this now would be if it didn't have that soul counter. It would be
1K?
6'5".
Holy shit, she's 5'5".
She would be 6'5".
Yeah.
Five.
What the shit?
The point is to clock encore your 1-0 when you play this, and then you have an enormous support.
Woo!
And
Ooh.
then someone bounces it back to hand and you cry.
Woo! It's bad.
I don't actually think it's bad. I think it's niche. It can definitely see play in the green-blue deck, but I think the green-blue deck kind of sucks, so
I.
that's
Yeah.
my 5 cents.
It's a bad card. I don't like Frontal 15 is a
But the
sweet
assist
effect.
assists.
It's a sweet effect, but Frontal 15 at the cost of one, and then losing another character, is tragic.
You're being critical. Come on, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to get past this card so we can get to the best card in the set with the edgiest climax.
Oh,
Like
yes.
I want this climax for my swag binder because it's like it's the funniest looking climax in the set.
Alrighty. Dissoluted Heart, Yu Otosaka, 2175. It's a 9/5 on
Excuse me.
opponent's turn, and it's climax combo to move your opponent's character to an empty slot.
But that's not why I'm playing it. I'm playing it because of the swag ass climax.
It's a 2K one, right?
It's stock soul.
Okay, slightly better.
Well, no, that's not why it matters. The art on the climax is just literally him smirking like a, as Teru so eloquently put it, fuckboy.
I don't think I ever called him a fuckboy.
Well, you said the word at some point.
I was talking about the
I know-
like a
No, we
Yumi's
know who you're
classmate
talking
that got
about.
cock blocked by himself
Oh my
because he was
God.
being a fuckboy.
Well,
Anyways,
this guy's climax is amazing, and we need to show it as like we're gonna show it as not only is the last card in the set, but
here,
it's
I already
swag
have it on
set.
screen.
Excellent. It's going to be our
Synopsis.
going to be the feature card for the brief summary.
Make
So
it
this card
a
is
thumbnail.
This card is
not good.
bad.
Yeah, it's not good because your opponent, if they have a vacant spot on stage, what the worst you're gonna do is just kill one of their random characters, like whatever. It's just not worth the climax spot for such a marginal card. But you definitely
Yep.
played in the Edgelord deck because this is the edgiest climax.
Sure.
Next
Also
up
very
is
flavorful.
Sanic, though, and I have to go back.
Yeah. He's Sanic. He's so Sanic is a 2/1/7/5. He has the ability go fast, put the top card of your library in clock. At the start of your climax phase, pay cost. If you do, it gains 3k to the end of the opponent's next turn.
I'm gonna call
was
this
Flavor
card
bad
bad
text is
too.
longer than the effect. This card is terrible as well.
This
is
part
bad.
is really bad.
Next
as
up
bad as
is
it sounds,
is
no,
is
it's
the
bad.
worst of the 2/2 vanillas that we were talking about earlier.
It is the one soul 2/2 10k.
It's awful.
It is awful.
And finally, an event.
It's a
Well, there's
2/1.
no event.
Oh, this one's really
so
bad too.
choose a character, give 4k, send this to memory.
Oh.
It's literally the green pendant from
Except
Nisekoi,
500
but
bigger.
But it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do
Bad.
anything there
Neither
either.
did the green pendant.
No, you know what this actually is? It's Dragon Strike. Or not Dragon Strike, Dragon Stream.
Please don't. You're
Dragon
upsetting
Stream, you can play
me.
level 1.
Please stop mentioning Dragon Stream. You're upsetting me.
You're upsetting me.
Well,
No,
firstly,
thanks.
Dragon Stream is bondable, and secondly, Dragon Stream is still not a counter. Last time I checked, which was yesterday, I check daily because I hope it changes.
If
Why
I
isn't
were
it
to
a
compare
counter?
this to Dragon Stream specifically, by level 2, Zwei from Phantom has hopefully farmed enough people that he's not going to get fucked over by some shitty little event.
Why isn't it a counter? Why? I've shown you nothing but love, Bushiroad.
Okay,
Are
This
you
sucks.
still
Look
talking
at
about
these
Dragon
ads.
Stream?
You have here.
I think we're
Yeah,
all
well.
stir crazy because we've been in this Skype call for like days now.
Probably. Anyway, let's move on to
That's it.
the summary show.
Yeah, so that's
Uh,
blue.
uh,
I'm This is the longest we've ever freaking run. We'll
I
be
I enjoyed it to some degree. In fact, I would have enjoyed it more if it was a good anime and there were more bad jokes to be made.
so we'll be back.